We've got quite the challenge ahead of us today. We're going to figure out which Disney World theme park is the best of the best. Will you be shocked by the end results? Only one way to find out. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. Today we are doing it. The DFB team is finally ranking all 4 Disney World theme parks: Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom. But we're not simply crowning one the ultimate winner and tossing the other 3 aside. We want you to see all the specific pros and cons for each park so you can factor those in while you're planning for your upcoming trip. So here's how this is going to work. Each park will first be rated in 4 categories: theme, food, rides, and shows and attractions. For each category, each park can earn up to 5 points, so even if only one park can come out on top at the end, each park still has the opportunity to take the gold star in a specific category. At the very end of the video, we're going to see which park gets the highest score out of 20 and crown it as the ultimate champion. Please keep in mind, this is just a fun way to explore all 4 parks. Doesn't mean we're just hating on 1 or 2 of them. Not to give you a spoiler or anything, but all 4 parks, regardless of which one comes out as the champion, have a lot to offer. And we love all of them for different reasons. When people ask me what my favorite park is, it's usually the one I'm in at the moment. So let's start with theme. You can't have a good theme park without theme, and each Disney World park has a vastly different feel to it than the last. But which Disney park themes leave us breathless and which leave something to be desired? Let's take a look. 4th place. Coming in at our 4th place spot is Disney's Hollywood Studios. Disney's Hollywood Studios is the place you want to go if you're ready to see pop culture and movie franchises brought to life. You can live out your Star Wars dream in Galaxy's Edge, become a toy in Toy Story Land, enter into a Mickey Mouse short on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, or drop into the Twilight Zone on Tower of Terror. There are lots of ways to completely immerse yourself in multiple realms of film and television sets galore. But at the risk of sounding kind of old school, this park ain't what it used to be. When this park first opened back in 1989 as MGM Studios, it was promoted as the park that didn't just drop you into the movies, but let you take a sneak peek behind the scenes to see how they were made. But in 2008, the park was rebranded into Disney's Hollywood Studios after multiple lawsuits between Disney and MGM kept Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer from renewing their license agreement. This name change also became the gateway for several more Hollywood Studios changes, which eventually led us to the park we know today. But this transition has felt more like a perpetual identity crisis for the park, rather than a smooth and seamless crossover from one theme to another. Despite our immense love for Galaxy's Edge, which does have a good and immersive theme, and Toy Story Land, which I guess you could make a case for, it's sad to think back on all the charming attractions that used to be here but are now just ghosts of the past. Think about Animation Courtyard. This place used to be full of life with actual animator offices, drawing classes, and a Little Mermaid stage show that's been dark since the closure in 2020. But now the courtyard is kind of sad. Yeah, it still has the Disney Junior live on stage and the Star Wars launch bay where you can meet BB-8 and Chewie and Darth Vader, but otherwise it's a section you quickly pass by on your way over to Toy Story Land. And then there's the park layout, which is a whole other beast to consider. Many of Hollywood Studios' walkways are not built for high crowd levels, leaving them prone to bottlenecking throughout the day, and those who don't feel comfortable being shoulder to shoulder with other guests can find Hollywood Studios to be a major pain to navigate around in some of those high traffic areas. And not to keep dogging on Hollywood Studios, because I promise you, I really do love this park and it will redeem itself later on. But the Hollywood Tower being the main icon of the park feels kind of weird. The Earful Tower kind of made sense and the Sorcerer's Hat made sense, but a haunted hotel that houses a ride that's supposed to be deadly? It's just an interesting choice for a kids theme park. Not a bad one. I like Tower of Terror. It's just strange. All in all, Hollywood Studios has some wildly immersive areas that take us into worlds we've grown up watching on the big screen, and that's very cool. But the perpetual identity crisis of what Hollywood Studios wants to be versus what it actually is still makes the theming of this park pretty disjointed, and there's a lot of what some might say is wasted space. So theming total, 2 out of 5. 3rd place is Epcot. Now, even though Epcot is in 3rd place for theming, there's a part of me that still thinks of it as 1st place in my heart. Originally, Epcot was supposed to be a futuristic, utopian neighborhood, which is why Walt Disney named it the experimental prototype community of tomorrow. But after Walt Disney passed away, the community part got scrapped, and instead opened as a 2nd Disney World theme park that highlighted communication and science and transportation and travel. Epcot is massive, so massive in fact that some sections of the park feel like a whole other park entirely. Maybe that's because they are. There's 2 parks here that Walt originally conceived, and they ended up just sort of being smooshed together into one. And we're going to continue to see a slicing and dicing in Epcot. It was recently sectioned off into 4 new neighborhoods: World Discovery, World Nature, World Celebration, and World Showcase. Honestly, World Showcase deserves a full day of exploration in and of itself, since it'll literally take you around 11 different countries in a single setting, and that's awesome. So why is Epcot ranked lower on this list if there's still so much to explore and see and do? Well, Epcot's in its hot mess era right now, and that's okay. We're aware that this park has been hard at work getting ready to bring us even more new stuff later in the year, like the Journey of Water walkthrough attraction inspired by Moana and the new Communicore Hall and Plaza. Those are going to help centralize the Epcot festivals, but I'm trying to look at this from a first-time visitor's perspective. Currently, when you walk into Epcot, you're going to be greeted with a whole lot of construction walls wrapping around World Celebration and World Nature, which could make that grand park feel a little less grand at the moment. Granted, seeing Spaceship Earth at the front of the park does help out a lot, because who doesn't love seeing that giant golf ball? And if you don't love it, please don't tell me, you'll break my heart. But while the walls are still standing erect, we've got to knock this park down a few spots for now, because Walcott tends to take away the goosebumps and leave you feeling like a mouse in a maze, and not the Mickey kind of mouse. Total for this one, 3 out of 5 at the moment. Second place is, of course, between Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom. And which one's going to come in second place? Drum roll! Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom is the first park built in Disney World, making it the proud big sibling of the 4. Many guests, including me, find this park to be a classic, with some of the most memorable park lands out there. Basically, this park and its predecessor Disneyland invented theme parks. You've got Adventureland, Tomorrowland, Main Street USA, Fantasyland, so many lands. All you gotta do is cross the threshold of one, and you'll be transported into a whole new realm. Out of the 4 parks, Magic Kingdom has the most iconic icon that ever iconed, the Cinderella Castle. It's one of the most picturesque spots not only in Disney World, but the entire world, period. While some guests find every area of this park to be nostalgic, like a time capsule of their childhood, others consider some of these sections to feel a little bit dated. Take Tomorrowland, for instance. Yeah, there's something gloriously charming about an outdated look into what Imagineers originally thought the future would be like. Like when Patricia in Carousel of Progress talks about car phones, and the People Mover takes us past a lady that's getting quite the invasive beauty salon treatment. But with the new Tron Light Cycle run coming into the Tomorrowland scene on April 4th, we've got an interesting predicament here. Some of this land actually feels futuristic, while other sections of it feel like a history book. But despite its split personality, I rarely ever sigh in disappointment when I enter Tomorrowland. I'm usually more like, ooh, a techno soundtrack and s'mores-flavored Joffrey's coffee, sign me up. Despite there already being 7 different lands you can visit in Magic Kingdom, there's the possibility of more to come. During the 2022 D23 convention, we learned about the Disney Imagineers blue sky projects they've been dreaming about. And 3 of those projects include future expansions just beyond Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. These lands could pull inspiration from Coco and Kanto and or the Disney villains, but we've still got a long way to go before we hear about if these projects will actually take off or not. For now, we definitely appreciate the lands we already have in Magic Kingdom, which is why it takes the number 2 spot on today's list with a total of 4 out of 5. And taking the top spot for best park theming goes to Disney's Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom is the most peaceful park of the bunch, with several opportunities to escape the crowds and visit tons of live animals on site. And although it's fun to see the other parks have those vastly different lands within the same park, we gotta commend Animal Kingdom for the way it presents different areas in a way that one land naturally transitions into another gracefully and efficiently without feeling like you're making a jarring transition between each section. Even crossing over from Africa into Pandora feels natural, even though both areas have completely different vibes going on and are on different planets. Former lead Imagineer Joe Rohde and his team were the driving force behind Animal Kingdom's creative endeavors. According to Rohde, he wanted Animal Kingdom to be a park that set itself apart from all other theme parks out there, one that could completely envelop you in a sense of adventure instead of simply telling you about it. And that's why he and his team put so much research into the development of these lands to make sure they were as authentic and realistic as possible. Rohde has gone in depth with the process and storytelling behind each of these lands on his Instagram posts. And when he writes about Africa, for example, he mentions the guests are being transported to a Harambe Wildlife Reserve. The buildings in this land are designed to look weathered, but not from neglect, rather from economic stress, which is why you'll find a lot of recycled parts in the design work. When it comes to Asia, the area is designed as the foothill to a large mountain, specifically speaking, the Forbidden Mountain. And as you make your way around this section of the park, you'll notice no detail has been spared. It is truly incredible. You'll find authentic prayer flags canopying the pathways, a queue line that wraps you around the quiet mountain village of Shirkazong, featuring shrines and offerings for a certain infamous Yeti, and so many murals representing the art and cultures of Northern Asia. And let's not forget about the Tree of Life, that immersive park icon made up of over 300 hand-sculpted animals. The one land that tends to be a big old toss-up with guests, because it's definitely the odd duck out, is Dinoland USA, which technically still falls into the animal category of Animal Kingdom, but does so in a carnival-style fashion that people either find charming or tacky, depending on who you talk to. But similar to Magic Kingdom, there is a chance Dinoland could be replaced in the future, or at least expanded. D23 also revealed blue sky possibilities for realms inspired by Zootopia and Moana. Whether these lands come to fruition or not is yet to be determined, but we'll definitely let you know if and when we hear more about them. In the meantime, we love Animal Kingdom for what it offers right now, and that's an easygoing park day with beautiful, lush landscaping, hundreds of real live animals, an incredible soundtrack, and top-tier theming around every corner. Just walking through Asia is absolutely unbelievable. While some may find Animal Kingdom to be lacking in experiences, we find the park to be one of the few times in Disney World that'll give you a chance to just slow down and take it all in. However, it is kind of a bummer that this park closes earlier than all the others, usually around 8 p.m., with no opportunities for extended evening hours or after-hours events. But that's more because they gotta get those animals to bed than anything else. We want our wildlife friends to get their beauty sleep after all. Total for theming in Animal Kingdom, 5 out of 5. Moving on to food. Now here's a category we love to explore from every which angle: food. Which park has the best variety, the best quality, and the best service, and which park is more focused on style than substance? You may be surprised by what takes 4th place this time around. It's Magic Kingdom. You don't have to worry about going hungry in Magic Kingdom. This park has an expansive variety of different quick services that are great for kids and picky eaters. Lots of fast food locations like Cosmic Rays Starlight Cafe in Tomorrowland, Pecos Bill Tall Tale Inn and Cafe in Frontierland, and Pinocchio Village House in Fantasyland will serve safe options that you're used to, like burgers and chicken tenders, fajitas, loaded nachos, flatbread pizzas. They'll get you fed and fueled, if nothing else. There are also a few more adventurous choices in the park, like the Jungle Cruise themed table service restaurant Skipper Canteen in Adventureland, the rotating spring roll cart options over at the Spring Roll Cart outside of Adventureland, and the unique sweet and savory waffle sandwich options at Sleepy Hollow Refreshments in Liberty Square. While there are definitely a few gems hiding out in Magic Kingdom, if you're someone who feels like food should be a big part of the vacation experience, you might be otherwise disappointed in the run-of-the-mill options around these parts. Even the highly immersive and highly popular castle restaurants, Cinderella's Royal Table and Be Our Guest, are absolutely gorgeous in theming, but pretty mediocre when it comes to food. You're definitely paying for the experience here more than anything else. Magic Kingdom, for the most part, doesn't serve food that's downright bad, and you'll more than likely enjoy the classic snacks here, even more than any of the main entrees around property. But we've got to give Magic Kingdom last place because the competition is tight, and you're going to find much better food practically everywhere else. Total for Magic Kingdom, 3 out of 5. In 3rd place, it's Hollywood Studios. On the streets of Hollywood, you're going to find all types of food styles. You want standard eats? You got it. You want something intergalactic? You got that too. Need a cocktail or fancy dining, or you want your server to yell at you while you refuse to eat your green beans? It's all right here in Hollywood Studios. Much like Magic Kingdom, you got a few hidden gems here. Lots of us here on the DFB team are suckers for the tachos at Woody's Lunchbox in Toy Story Land. And even more of us love a good old Ronto wrap at Ronto Roasters in Galaxy's Edge. And if Hollywood Studios was purely being judged on the signature Hollywood Brown Derby restaurant, then this park would get a 5 out of 5. But it's hard to ignore the big missteps of the park dining here. The whole Sunset Ranch Market, stripped down Sunset Boulevard, has more blah offerings than it does good ones, and that's a lot of real estate to waste on bad food. And let's not forget about the multiple puffy pizzas over at the quick service locations, Pizza Rizzo and Catalina Eddie's. I know pizza's pizza, but I personally prefer my pizza to be delicious. With all that being said, Hollywood Studios has also been working to step up their dining game these past few years. We've recently seen new chicken and waffle bowls added to the Fairfax Fare menu. The ABC Commissary menu got a whole new look to it just a few years back to bring more unique options and fewer standard options to the quick service location. And my all-time favorite desserts are hiding out here too, like the Wookiee Cookie and the Glimmer and Shimmer Blondie, both of which you'll find at Backlot Express in Echo Lake. So, safe to say, it's kind of a 50-50 shot that you'll either get something really great in this park or something unremarkable. Total is 3.5 out of 5. Second place for food is Disney's Animal Kingdom. Okay, all you adventurous eaters out there, these next two parks are gonna thrill you with their unique dining options and distinct menu varieties. But let's start off with our second place victor, Disney's Animal Kingdom. This has a plethora of really unique eats that make you feel like you're no longer eating in a theme park and instead like you're eating in a whole other country or in some cases a whole other world. We've sung the praises of Satu'li Canteen in Pandora many times over because of its customizable bowls and cheeseburger pods. We've fallen in love with Nomad Lounge at Discovery Island for its stunning patio views and its tasty soups and cocktails and lobster mac and cheese. And we've returned to Yak and Yeti table service restaurant over and over in Asia for more Pan-Asian cuisines. The biggest downfall for Animal Kingdom dining is that the variety can be a little too adventurous at times for kids and picky eaters. That's not to say there aren't any standard dining options available, like Restaurantosaurus and Dinoland USA, which is chock full of burgers and chicken nuggets and chili cheese dogs, and Pizzafari and Discovery Island. But if you got a group with adventurous eaters and choosy eaters alike, the decision for where to eat could be split down the middle. It may be beneficial for groups with different taste preferences to split up for a bit if you're able and reconvene later on after everyone's fed and feeling satisfied. Total for Animal Kingdom, 4 out of 5 on food. And first place is Epcot. Epcot has officially taken the crown this round for its epic food options thanks to 3 key reasons. Reason number 1, it's festivals. With each new Epcot festival, the park brings dozens of new and returning food booth offerings to give you more on-the-go variety at a usually cheaper price point since the portions will be smaller than your average quick service entrees. Reason number 2, cultural representation. Though the World Showcase provides so many rotating food booths for its festivals, it also provides tons of permanent cultural offerings within each of the 11 pavilions. You could grab fresh caramel sweets at Caramel Kusha in Germany. You could order varieties of poutine alongside a juicy steak at Le Cellier Steakhouse in Canada. You could enjoy British pub food and wash it all down with a pint of your choosing at Rose and Crown in the UK. The list goes on and on. Reason number 3, accessibility. For kids with specific palates for pizza and burgers only, Epcot still finds a way to appeal to both adventurous and picky eaters. Sunshine Seasons in the Land Pavilion, for instance, is a food court-like quick service location with standout options and safe options alike. And if you order something out of the bakery case here, you'll really be sweetening the meal even more, literally. But Epcot dining isn't perfect by any means. A few restaurants here like Space 220 and World Discovery, San Helen Restaurante in Mexico, and Coral Reef Restaurant in World Nature fall victim to the same fate that the Castle restaurants in Magic Kingdom are cursed with, having more style than substance. That being said, these restaurants are a coin toss. Sometimes they're just okay, and sometimes they'll surprise us with a fantastic meal that comes out of seemingly nowhere. Even if these select dining locations can be wishy-washy with their food quality, they're still going to be a memorable experience, even in the presence of pretty forgettable food. With hundreds of dining options to choose from, Epcot is the clear winner when it comes to having the best Disney World park food. Total for Epcot, 5 out of 5 on food. Now, there's one thing each of the Disney World parks has in common when it comes to dining, and that's quantity. There are so many options around each of the parks to choose from. That's why we've got our brand new 2023 DFB Guide to Walt Disney World Dining available now at dfbstore.com for you. The DFB Guide to Walt Disney World Dining is full of tons of details and tools and features to make eating around the parks go as smoothly as possible. This is 30 years of experience eating around Disney World, packed into this guide. It's updated every 6 months. It has all kinds of great information. And I have really poured my heart and soul into it. So if you want to support us here at DFB, go ahead to dfbstore.com and buy a copy. And if you do, don't forget to type in code YouTube for some extra savings. All right, we are moving on to rides, my friends. Thrill rides, dark rides, carousels, rides that spin just a little too much and make you nauseous for the rest of the day. Disney World has them all, but which park reigns superior when it comes to ride variety? And which park seems to be lacking in the attraction department? You're about to find out. Fourth place on this list is Disney's Animal Kingdom. You're not going to find many rides in Animal Kingdom, but what you will find is still going to provide you with a good time. You've got that 4D Banshee ride, Flight of Passage, the Backwards Coaster, Expedition Everest, full-on Savannah Tour, Kilimanjaro Safaris, and a handful of other rides that you can easily accomplish in a single day. And even though there aren't as many ride offerings available in Animal Kingdom, the lines are still relatively more manageable than you might find at the other parks, depending on the time of year you visit. That being said, some of those ride lines can still be brutal to wait in, since many of them will place you in an outdoor queue with limited shade and very little air conditioning, so make sure to stay hydrated. I hate placing Animal Kingdom in the fourth place in this category because Flight of Passage alone is one of my all-time favorite experience. Considering the other parks have so many other offerings to fill your day with, Animal Kingdom's downfall comes down to its quantity, but not its quality. Total is 3 out of 5. In third place is Epcot. Much like the variety of food you'll find in Epcot, you're also going to find a variety of ride types here too. Some rides are inspired by our favorite movies like Frozen Ever After, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, and Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Some feature original storylines specifically created for Epcot itself, like Journey into Imagination with Figment. And some take on more educational tones like Living with the Land and Spaceship Earth. What's great about the rides in Epcot is that you're going to find a healthy mix of heavy hitters and B-tier attractions alike. That way, if you don't feel like waiting in a forever long ride line for one experience, you can hit up one of the B-tier rides for a shorter wait. Aside from a few headliners, the rides aren't necessarily the driving force behind this park. You could never go on a ride all day long and still have a full day at Epcot regardless. Though I love seeing the more educational side of some of these rides, they could be a drag for younger riders who just want to see their favorite characters up close and in their face at all times. And let's not forget, a couple of these rides, like Cosmic Rewind and Mission Space, are some of the worst rides for those prone to motion sickness. Even Disney knows this, since you'll be able to find complimentary barf bags for both experiences. Again, Epcot has some of the best rides on property, but depending on your group's personal preferences, they could also end up not being your cup of tea. Total here, 4 out of 5. Second place in our ride category is Magic Kingdom. You know how we said Animal Kingdom may be lacking in rides? Yeah, Magic Kingdom does not have that problem. Out of the 4 Disney World parks, Magic Kingdom has the most rides, as well as the best assortment of family-friendly attractions. And although we love seeing our favorite characters from our favorite Disney films in rides, such as Under the Sea, Voyage of the Little Mermaid, Peter Pan's Flight, and the soon-to-be Tiana's Bayou Adventure coming to Magic Kingdom in late 2024, we also love how many original and classic storylines are featured in several of the rides here, including, but not limited to, Haunted Mansion, Jungle Cruise, and Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. If you're traveling with older kids or a group that's all about the thrill rides, this park probably isn't going to scratch that itch. I mean, it will in some parts, like when Tron Light Cycle Run opens up, but even the major coasters featured here, like Space Mountain and Big Thunder Mountain, aren't going to give you that healthy rush of adrenaline like you'll find when you'd ride, say, Expedition Everest in Animal Kingdom or like Rip Ride Rocket over at Universal. For the most part, Magic Kingdom's rides are focused on being accessible for families, meaning a good majority of the rides will be toddler-friendly, which could be just the park experience you're looking for. Total for rides in Magic Kingdom, 4.5 out of 5. So that leaves first place for Hollywood Studios. See, told you Hollywood Studios would have their redemption arc in this video. Hollywood Studios is a park filled with headliner rides and major thrills. You've got a 13-story drop ride at Tower of Terror, a launch indoor coaster at Rock and Roller Coaster, 3D dark ride minus the 3D glasses at Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, a competitive gallery shooter ride at Midway Mania, a video game-like piloting simulator at Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, multi-immersive trackless dark ride that starts while you're still in the queue at Rise of the Resistance, and I know this will sound cheesy, but so much more. However, the negative side of having an overabundance of epic rides all packed into a single theme park is that each of these rides rack up heavy wait times all year long, making this the perfect park to use the Premium Genie Plus planning tool for, which will allow you to book lightning lanes throughout the day and bypass those main standby lines. It's also important to consider that since Hollywood Studios is more about the thrills, there may be less for younger riders to experience here. But if there's anyone in your group who isn't tall enough to ride a certain experience or who might be intimidated by how intense some of these rides can be, you can always use Rider Switch to make sure everyone in your party who wants to ride gets the chance to. I'll link one of our posts from the DFB website that goes into more detail about this free service down in the description below if you want to learn more about Rider Switch on your own time. But for now, I'm going to let Hollywood Studios revel in its victory as the best Disney World park for all you ride enthusiasts, and Star Wars fans, and Toy Story fans, and Twilight Zone fans. Total 5 out of 5. Next on our list is shows and other attractions. For our last category before we reveal the ultimate Disney World park champion, we're going to be exploring which park has the best offerings in terms of entertainment. I'm talking live stage shows, indoor attractions, parades, nighttime spectaculars, everything in between. This one was a close call since you can find stellar entertainment in Disney World no matter where you go. But in the end, the answer for who won this category was clear. But will you feel the same? Now, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but our fourth place park is Epcot. Make no mistake, Epcot is in last place for this category, but it does not lack in fun moments and exciting streetmosphere and live performances. Along with streetmosphere you'll find all year long, like Mariachi Cobre, the Jammers, the Voices of Liberty. You'll also find that with each Epcot festival, you're not only going to have several food booths to look forward to, but you're also going to have a rotating collection of musical performances over at the America Gardens Outdoor Theater. These performances feature truly famous bands, Broadway talent, local artists, and during the Candlelight Processional that happens at the end of the year, famous actors that'll narrate the Christmas story alongside a full choir and orchestra. How in the world is this park in fourth place? I know, but listen, it's because the other parks have so much more too. Anyway, when the sun sets, you can make your way over to the front of the park to experience the multicolor light projection shows, Beacons of Magic, that takes place on Spaceship Earth every 15 minutes. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if astronauts can see that big old ball from space every night because it is bright. And for a little while after the historic 2020 closures, Epcot had a few cavalcades make appearances around World Showcase, but other than that, this park doesn't have cavalcades or parades to look forward to during the day anymore. However, you can spot character meet and greet locations around World Showcase in lots of different areas. Just check the attractions tip board on your My Disney Experience app to figure out what characters are going to be popping up around the park on the day of your visit. When it comes to indoor theater shows, some of the options you'll find around World Showcase may feel more like they're pitching you a vacation overseas more than anything else, though. And if you stumble into one looking for a chance to at least get off your feet for a bit, only to find that they have bars for you to lean against and no actual seats, it can be downright exhausting trying to stand upright while also watching those 360-degree screens, Canada. Now, as far as fireworks go, we really do love Harmonious, aside from its giant tacky barges that jut out from the World Showcase Lagoon during the day, each and every day. But Harmonious will be having its last performance on April 2nd. Disney's announced that Epcot will be introducing a new nighttime spectacular later on this year, but for now, we get to see the return of the intermittent show, Epcot Forever, starting April 3rd, which serves as a fun trip down memory lane for all us 80s Epcot kids, for whom it will always be Epcot Center. Now, who knows, maybe this new nighttime spectacular to be will help bump Epcot up in the entertainment rankings, but for the time being, the other three parks are bringing their A game when it comes to their show offerings, making this a rather lively and stiff competition for sure. And based on that competition, Epcot gets a 3 out of 5 for shows. Third place is Disney's Animal Kingdom. What shows and entertainment are you going to find around a park filled with wildlife? I mean, aren't the animals enough as it is? Turns out Animal Kingdom has unique character sightings, character flotillas along the Discovery River, drawing classes over at Rafiki's Planet Watch, and 2 Broadway-style shows that you're not going to want to miss. The first show is Festival of the Lion King over in Africa, which showcases your favorite songs from the animated classic film, along with larger-than-life puppetry and acrobatic stunts that actually have Olympians that'll keep you on the edge of your bleacher seats. And the second show is Finding Nemo, the Big Blue and Beyond, another even more puppet-filled live-action performance that takes you on a musical journey alongside Marlin and Dory on their quest to, find Nemo. And don't skip over the streetmosphere lining the park streets. You'll find several musical performances throughout the day, including the Tam Tam Drummers of Harambe in Africa and the Chakranadi Player in Asia. Unfortunately, there's currently no nighttime spectaculars happening at the Discovery River Amphitheater like the Rivers of Light used to provide between 2017 and 2020, and there's currently no word on if or when another nighttime show will take its place. But that doesn't mean you'll leave the park at the end of the night with no big grand finale. The Tree of Life Awakening happens right at sunset and uses colorful light projections to bring the trunk, branches, and leaves of this park icon to life. Much like Epcot's Beacon of Magic, the official Tree of Life Awakening show happens every 15 minutes until the park closes, but will otherwise stay illuminated even when a show isn't happening. Now, this Awakening show does not happen in the summer since the park will close before the sun officially sets. I feel like it's necessary to mention It's Tough to Be a Bug, which is a 4D Bugs Life inspired ride that resides underneath the Tree of Life, but if you're not into creepy crawlies in the slightest, you're not going to have a good time with this one, and honestly, I think it knocks this park down a couple notches. Like I said, the competition is tough out there, and though Animal Kingdom certainly gives the other parks a run for their money, their lack of a nighttime show definitely doesn't do them any favors in this competition. Total is 4 out of 5. Now, who's going to get second place? Well, nobody. We've got a tie for first in this category, Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. Originally, when we were figuring out an ultimate winner for this category, it was gonna be Magic Kingdom. MK provides a good mix of entertainment with several indoor shows, parades, cavalcades, nighttime spectaculars, fireworks, streetmosphere, and outdoor stage performances. Sure, some of the shows could be a bit slower for younger kids, like Hall of Presidents, for instance. And yeah, every time fireworks conclude here, you gotta fight against a swarm of exiting guests just to get out of the park. But it's hard to beat all the different offerings in Magic Kingdom, including the soon-to-be returning nighttime spectacular Happily Ever After, coming back on April 3rd, which will feature all new projections on the castle and down Main Street, USA. But when we got to thinking about all the different live offerings at Hollywood Studios, including Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular, Beauty and the Beast live on stage, the Frozen Sing-Along Celebration, Disney Junior live on stage, and of course the nighttime spectacular Fantasmic, there was no way we could knock this park down to even a second place position. One of the only downsides we could think of in terms of all the show offerings available in Hollywood Studios is just there are so many to choose from that it's impossible to see them all. Not only do you have these live performances, but you've also got other high-quality experiences like the Wonderful World of Animation that happens nightly on the Grauman's Chinese Theater, Muppet Vision 3D that, I'm sorry, never gets old, even if you've heard those jokes time and again, Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy, which is great for kids who absolutely love the Cars film franchise, and several other knockout options that'll get you out of the ride lines and keep you entertained, regardless of the crowd levels that day. So, Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios are just going to have to share the title of first place for now, but I'm curious to know which of these two parks you think has the upper hand. Let me know in the comments. For now, a total of 5 out of 5 for them both. Okay, final rankings, the moment you've all been waiting for. Which of the Disney World parks is going to have the highest ratings out of the 4? It was a close competition for sure, but unlike the show entertainment category, which we kind of cheated with a little, we're ending this video with only one singular ultimate champion. So let's start with our runner-up park first and work our way to the top. In 4th place, as an honorable mention, is Epcot with 15 out of 20. There's no way I would consider Epcot as a last place park. In fact, it is probably my favorite park of the 4, if that tells you anything. Epcot is a great option for those who want to travel to 11 different countries in a single setting, who love seasonal theme park festivals, and who want to try some of the best Disney World food on property. It's also a great option for anyone who wants to visit a park that's not completely dependent on how many rides you can accomplish in a single day. Although all the construction walls can put a damper on this park's grand reveal at the moment, and the future of the nighttime spectacular still remains up in the air, I'd love to revisit this ranking after all the Epcot transformations are finished to see where this park places among the 4 by the end of the year. In 3rd place is Disney's Hollywood Studios with 15.5 out of 20. Disney's Hollywood Studios was so close to beating out the 2nd place spot on this list, but its lower ranking for overall park theming cost it that silver title. Regardless of its continuing identity crisis that I think we can all relate with on a personal level, Hollywood Studios is an excellent park with several heavy hitter rides as well as lots of great shows and entertainment options. But because of its intense crowd levels, Hollywood Studios is a park you're seriously going to want to consider getting Genie Plus for. Just make sure to study up on this premium planning tool before your visit so you know how to use it to get the most out of your time here. In 2nd place, it's Disney's Animal Kingdom with 16 out of 20. Does it shock you that Disney's Animal Kingdom has the fewest rides and the shortest hours but still managed to take that 2nd place title? Well, don't let it. Animal Kingdom should not be underestimated. With its easygoing atmosphere, hundreds of live animals, tons of adventurous dining options, and goosebump-worthy entertainment, the quality of the experiences provided by this park make up for what it lacks in extra rides, nighttime entertainment, and extended evening hours. And in first place, it's Magic Kingdom with 16.5 out of 20. Taking the title of Ultimate Disney World Theme Park is none other than the original. Let's give it a round of applause. Note that Magic Kingdom didn't beat out the other parks drastically. There was no landslide championship, and that's because each park has its own strengths and weaknesses. Though Magic Kingdom may not have the best food options out there and could feel overwhelmingly crowded at times, especially after the nighttime spectacular and the fireworks, this is the park for guests looking for a classic and nostalgic Disney World experience. Not to mention, if you want the most rides and attractions that'll accommodate the entire family, Magic Kingdom has your back. So congrats, MK! As the first Disney World park, it only makes sense for the home of Cinderella Castle to take on the gold, but I'm interested to know if you agree or if you think there's another champion on this list that deserves due recognition. But for now, keep in mind that each of these parks really is a winner in our hearts, and we'll continue to visit for years and years and years to come, as long as they'll have us. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.